Hello everybody, Vigo Shadow here, and welcome to Indie Saturday, where every Saturday I'm playing an indie game. Today's indie game is actually going to be called the Anomaly Detective. So as you can see, I have it up on Steam right now. I don't have the video playing, but these are a few screenshots for it. But essentially what it is what you see a hallucination or reality? There's only one way to tell. Close your eyes, photograph the anomalies, and that don't vanish, and when you open them again, piece together the evidence and solve the case in an uncanny hotel. Now I'm actually really excited to jump into a detective game like this, so yeah, let's just hop right in. Alright, we are inside the game here. Now I want to say right off the bat, this desk, the light, the paperclip, and the fact that you can go into this menu. When you have a main menu that does these things, or you can go into something on the desk, I'm a sucker for that. Graphics quality, we can turn it up to medium probably. I don't want to go too much on it, but it's gonna go also the sound too. We're gonna turn our music down quite a bit, just because copyright. We're gonna go ahead and hit play. So yeah, we're inside this detective game. It's been a while since I've done a detective game for Indie Saturday, so I'm really excited. Let's see what this game has to offer.
Okay. Silas? Hey, Silas, do you copy?
Loud and clear, Cole. Stop shouting. I mean it. My head is... God. It's splitting.
Dang.
Good. Went silent. Never mind. What's your 20?
In that rat hole you call an office. Sigh. Basement.
Sigh.
Heading up to the, circus soon. Before I do, brief me on the file. What are we dealing with?
Alright, listen. Victim's name is Jimmy, 20 years old, bellboy. Body is on the 3rd floor, end of the hall, found by a Lara Finch.
Cause of death?
Unknown. Sending a team for pickup.
Did the killer run?
No, that's the catch. Elevator logs show no movement since the murder. Fire exits are locked from inside.
So the rat is trapped.
Exactly. He is still on that floor, Silas. Among the guests, look, I know what's in your file. The seizures, the visions. This is your ticket back. But I'm worried about sending you there.
Keep your worries to yourself, Cole. I'll handle it. I'll reach out if I need you.
Watch your back. Good hunting.
Alright, do we get to move? Alright, well, actually we get a little... That back and forth with the voice, I like the delay a little bit, because you got the radio and then he has to push the button on his, microphone in order to send it through. Awesome. Honestly, this is a really good intro so far. Your mission, welcome detective, your mission is to ignore the tricks your mind plays on you. The delusions, quotations, okay? Your goal is to find real physical evidence amidst this chaos, piece it together, and solve this mysterious case. All right. Day 0, memorization. The current time and corridor are completely safe. This is your reference point. Walk around, inspect the rooms, and memorize the normal state of the corridor. Oh, great. So we're going to have to check. We're going to have to really keep in mind everything that is in certain places, because things might move around. Okay, very interesting. Use your notebook, J-team, or J-key, to check which day you're on. Distinguishing threats. You will encounter unreal anomalies and threats in the corridor. Do not approach them. Okay. Stay back, close your eyes, B key, and wait for about 5 seconds. If the object is gone when you open your eyes, it is just a delusion. Oh, very interesting. Okay. Photograph evidence. If the object is still there after opening your eyes, that is your real evidence. Take out your camera, F key. Focus on the object and take a photo, E key. Valid evidence collected will be automatically added to your detective board in the basement. Pay attention. You don't need to memorize every millimeter. Following the story and flow is enough. Anomaly and evidence are usually distinct. If you look carefully, you are highly likely to spot them. Moment of decision. After completing your round, open the notebook J and mark if there is evidence on that floor. Correct guess moves you to the next floor / day. Wrong guess sends you back to the start, day 0. Dang. Okay, so you gotta reach 10th floor to solve the case, and if you get wrong, if you guess wrong, you go all the way back to the beginning. All right, well, we're gonna try to keep up the pace in this one for sure. Your support matters. Remember, the game is currently in a demo phase and developed by a single person. Always love that, all right? Shout out to the dev here. Adding it to your wish list on Steam and any feedback you provide is invaluable for development. Good luck, detective. Love that. Love that message in there. Also, I didn't add the the counter of like frames per second. I did not add that. The game just automatically had that. I had no way to hide it. Okay, this is the detective board. Okay, good to know. So we can just click away from that. So far, it looks aesthetically pleasing. All right, let's go to floor 1 since that's exactly where we're going here. Now, they threw a lot at us in the beginning, like a lot of buttons and keys that I hope they remind us on. Oh, okay. This looks pretty nice. So let's just go ahead and add J. Was there evidence on this floor? That's our notebook. Okay. So that's the way to, like, close your eyes, wait 5 seconds. And then you can open them. Okay. But we didn't see any anomalies right now. So we got a couple posters. Let's just keep that in mind. A clothing, a safe, a music. Let's try to remember the aesthetic here. This is a soda acid extinguisher. Or it says it's an extinguisher. Garbage can. Nothing seems too out of place here right now. I'm pretty sure we know it. Silent signal. Oh, we can actually go in the rooms. I did not know that. Yo, that's kind of wicked. You just peek up on people or what? So we cannot... I wonder if we have to actually keep in mind what's in this room as well. I mean, it just sounds like somebody's sleeping there. I did not think to check the room, so let's go ahead and check the first one. That's kind of creepy. All right. So far, man, this is pretty good. Yo. there's most of these people are just facing away from you, and it's just kind of like sus. All right. I think they would turn when the door is open. They just don't. Was this the one we just checked out? Yeah. The sleeping man? Yep. Okay. All right, what's behind this door? All right, she's at her desk. I feel like if one of these people are off, then yeah, that'd probably be, damn. Okay, just a dark room. And she's near a painting. Okay. All right, so, and then this is the body that was on that floor. Okay. The fire exits are locked, is what they said. So let's just see if we can hit J and then hit no.
Cole, I checked the crime scene. It's a slaughterhouse up there. Blood isn't just pooled in one spot. It's smeared all over the hall. Someone dragged the body, Cole. For yards.
Dragged? That's strange. Killers usually run. They don't take the corpse for a stroll.
Exactly. This wasn't planned. Looks like panic, or a cleanup attempt. I scoped out the suspects from a distance but haven't engaged yet. They've all retreated into their shells.
Leave that part to us, Silas. Detectives are en route for interrogation. You just observe for now.
Don't worry. What about the body?
Forensics took Jimmy out the back exit. The floor is yours again. You won't know the technical details until the prelim report is out, but I'll update you in a few days.
Good. Meanwhile, I want to get to know this freak show. Open the files, Cole. Who are they?
You know, I was going to say something about the voice acting too in the beginning. I like the fact when like indie games put some voice acting in this as well. And sometimes, it's like it can be mid, but no, I feel like whoever did the voices actually kind of nailed it. I feel like I'm actually like getting really invested when it comes to like the characters itself. So we're going to floor 2. I don't know if that's the floor we're supposed to go to. Or it's something breaking around. Oh, I think we only go to floor 1. I don't think we can go to floor 2, so. Let's see if anything changed, because that's what we're going for here. I thought they said the body was out, but I guess it's still here. Oh. Hold on, wait a minute. I don't remember those posters here. Do we remember them? Hold on 1 second here. No, those are real. Okay. Now, how do I take a photo? I wish they would remind the keys for it. I forget the button for the photograph. I don't know. Either way, let's go ahead and look in these rooms yet again. I'll do like a sweep, and if there's anything different, then I'll just cut to that. Okay, we're gonna mark no evidence and see what happens.
Cole, you there? Sound off.
I'm here, Silas, and I didn't come empty-handed.
Good. Because the walls are closing in on me. This place isn't just old, it's sick. Give me something I can use before I crack.
All right, listen. I dug into the owner, Mr. Wickham, and the hotel's financials. A 60-room hotel called Grand. You'd expect it to be printing money, right? But the books say otherwise. The guy is practically waving the white flag. Revenue is laughably low.
Meaning what? Being broke is suspicious. You think he's laundering?
No, it's different. I spoke to a few old snitches. The Grand Elysium isn't the resort it pretends to be, Silas. It's a sanctuary. Off the books, no questions asked, cash only. A hole where the cops don't bother looking.
So, a hideout for runaways.
Exactly. The guests are either down to their last dime or hiding from something. Or someone. No security, no cameras, just 4 walls and silence.
That changes everything. But there's still one thing I don't get. Arthur Vance and the Finches in 303. Vance's suit costs more than this entire building, and Alara Finch is old money. If they're loaded, why hide in a dump like this? They could afford a luxury bolt hole.
That is the million-dollar question. Maybe Vance is hiding from his own bosses,
Everyone's got a secret.
and this hotel was built to keep them. But murder? That complicates things. Someone broke the sanctuary's golden rule. I'll keep following the money trail. You keep sniffing out the tension in that hallway. If they're hiding, they're prone to making mistakes.
Copy that. I'm heading up.
All right, well, we got that piece of dialogue there, which looks like they're just trying to like figure some more stuff out. And then also it mentions a bunch of other names like Clara and stuff, but the thing is we don't really get to know. Wow, this elevator really needs some TLC. But it mentions a lot of like names like Vance and Mrs. Clara. We don't even know who these people are. It'd be a different story. I wish they had a feature where we can, instead of just peek into the rooms, as much as I like that transition, like we actually get to talk to them, or like have a feature where you can knock and then they'll come out and then you can like question them like a real detective would. This is just kind of like checking for like differences. All right, so I'm gonna do another sweep and see if I see anything as well. All right, so I think yet again I don't see anything, so we're gonna mark that off in the notebook as well. So let's just go ahead and hit no.
Hey, Silas. Do you copy?
Yeah, Cole. I'm here. Still breathing.
Good. Because the coroner just faxed the prelim report. The body started talking to Silas, and it's got an ugly story to tell.
I'm listening. What killed the kid?
First and obvious. Single stab wound to the chest. Fatal, yes. But here's the kicker. No knife.
What do you mean, no knife?
Not the wound. Didn't fall out nearby. Means the murder weapon is still on that floor, Silas. Killer pulled it out and took it with them. Either stashed in a room or ditched somewhere in the hall.
Just great. So the killer is armed, and I'm not. What else?
Deep gash on the head. Emmy thinks it happened right after the stab. Scenario is, kid gets shanked, stumbles back in shock, cracks his skull on something hard. Massive blood loss. That explains the drag marks.
A struggle. Or an attempt to run.
And one last detail. This is the weirdest part. Scratch marks found on his shoulders and arms. But they aren't from the murder. About 2 weeks old, healing scabs. Deep scratches.
2 weeks? That's not a fight.
He said the same thing. Could be passion marks or systematic abuse. Was there a secret affair in the hotel? Or was someone tormenting the kid? Either way, Jimmy knew the person who did this. Silas. This wasn't just a random act of rage.
Scratch marks. That makes it personal. Looked like a woman's doing.
Can't be sure, but watch your step.
Alright, so we get some more information there. We get nothing on our... Actually, very important information there. So it's Silas. That's the guy's name on the radio here. We have nothing on this detective board at all, so we're going to step away from that. I wish we would. We should have got the autopsy report is what should have happened. Like, getting those files or like seeing like different pictures on the desk would make it way more immersive as like a detective game. So I'm surprised we don't have anything on that detective board with how, like, it's a single stab wound, cracked his skull, and then there's also like scratch marks from 2 weeks old. That is very important detective key information. That should either be in like a flip notebook that the detective can have and like write down, or something, like something to give it a visual to where it's there. But we don't see that. Okay, let's go exploring again. Yet again, I'm going to do another sweep of the hall and just skip ahead and see if there's anything different. Okay, wait. I got dragged to the corner somehow. Let's just go ahead and blink. Something weird really happened. Like, I got dragged into the corner of that plant. If that was the game's doing, then that's actually pretty creative. Is that evidence, though? Alright, well, either way, let me check the rooms. Also, another thing so I'm done sweeping. I didn't see really anything off. The body is supposed to be, like, at the coroner's office, so why is the body here? That's also something I don't get. Something as simple as just removing that would make a little bit more sense. But yeah, either way, I see nothing besides that evidence. No evidence, no physical evidence, but I did get dragged into the corner for some reason. Don't know if that was just a bug or whatever.
I'm here, Cole. Tell me, did the birds sing?
We cornered them one by one. I took statements and summarized them. Most are trying to save their own skin, but there are contradictions. Listen close. You might catch a slip-up.
I'm listening. Who told the first lie?
Arthur Vance claims he was napping in his room during the time of death. Heard nothing, saw nothing. Ask me. It's the classic "I know nothing, officer" routine. A man dies in the hall, and you sleep through it behind these paper-thin walls. I don't buy it. But the guy is cold. Didn't twitch a muscle.
Professional liar. Huh. What about the artist girl?
Serafina Rhodes. She's also in the Didn't Hear It club. Said she was sketching. Claims she gets lost in the world when inspiration strikes. Like a trance. No headphones, Silas. Just sketching. How focused do you have to be to not hear a skull cracking?
Or how scared? The Finch couple? Their fighting is heard all over the hotel.
Walter and Alara Finch. Here's where it gets weird. Said they were watching TV, but their body language. The guy, Walter, is a wreck. Puffy eyes, slumped shoulders, like his world ended. But the woman, Alara, neutral, ice cold. No grief, no fear. Just said, "We were watching TV," and shut up. Like she wrote the script, and he's forced to act it out.
Things are messy with that couple. Ugh. What about the others? No one heard anything?
They did. And this is the confusing part. Jan Novak, the foreigner, admitted hearing sounds. A verbal fight. Shouting. But he dropped a bomb. He's sure the noise came from the Finch's room, and Jimmy was arguing with them. Said, didn't want to get involved, don't want trouble.
So he's passing the ball to the couple. What if he's telling the truth?
Maybe, but our last statement is Evelyn Greer, the celebrity. She confirmed hearing the argument too. You know what she was doing at the time? Touching up her makeup. Said she had plans for the evening.
Plans on the night of a murder. Did you mention what plans?
I don't know, but both
What?
Novak and Evelyn say they heard an argument. Arthur and Serafina are playing deaf. Someone is telling the truth, and someone is lying to save their ass, Silas.
Oh, okay, so we're Silas, not the guy on the radio. But either way, that was a lot of very important information, and this detective board is still blank. Nothing signifying that on a notebook. This is stuff that I feel like this should be visually shown or visually drawn out, not something to remember. That's like if I have to kind of like bring out my own notebook and write this stuff down. I mean, I guess that kind of makes it more immersive, but I'd rather see it there. You have a detective board there for a reason. But we got a lot of name drops and a lot of like different alibis that we heard from him. Now, what would have been way better is if we were actually in his shoes. Like, it feels like we're just we're like a glorified hall monitor, and he's just kind of like doing all the work on his end on the other side of the radio. I want to be in his shoes. I want to figure out like what he's doing. If we got to question each one of these guys and get information, and there was like different dialogue trees, that would make it a lot more immersive. That'd be really fun. Looks like we're going up in floors though. We're on floor 4, I guess. Or, oh, if this is an anomaly, I don't know what is. Let's just go ahead and see if that's a delusion. We actually finally get into this now. This is interesting. Yep, that was all a delusion. Okay, we actually encountered our first true delusion there. All right, let's go ahead and I'm gonna do another sweep again, but that was definitely a delusion. I don't think we can mark that as physical evidence though. There's the Finch couple. So that was mentioned there. I might actually just like kind of like say what the characters are since it's not really shown or said here. That's like I believe that's the foreigner since they're across rooms with each other. This is the nappy guy. Let's just call him that. They're supposed to. Then that leaves 2 more: the celebrity and the artist. So I believe this one's the celebrity here because she's all dressed up, has a recorder, and a fan, and then this is the artist. I don't know their name. Like, it did mention their names, but it's kind of hard. I think that's Serafina right there, and then the artist, I can't remember. But either way, there is no physical evidence that I can capture on this floor. There's nothing here. Jay, no. Let's progress.
Silas, pick up now. It's urgent.
Oh, okay. Silas and Cole.
You catch our guy?
Not the who, but I found the how, and it trashes everything we know. I've got the final autopsy report in hand.
Wasn't it the stab wound? The one straight to the chest?
That's where it falls apart. Jimmy was already brain dead when the knife went in.
What? They stabbed a corpse?
Exactly. According to the report, there's a massive fracture on the occipital bone. He hit something hard. A door frame, a corner, something metal. The impact caused a hemorrhage that killed him in seconds, right there.
So, the knife was an afterthought?
Yes, the ME confirmed the stab wound shows post-mortem bleeding. Someone watched Jimmy die from the fall, and then drove that knife into his chest.
Why? Why stab a dead man?
2 possibilities. 1, it was an accident, and they staged it as a murder to confuse us. 2, they used a specific knife to frame someone else.
Theater. The blood. The drag marks. Was it all just set dressing?
Looks that way.
Okay. All right. Well, we got the final autopsy report. I'm going to see if I can pick up this journal. And it looks like I cannot. We can go ahead and move on. So we know that the main cause of death was the fracture that happened. So he hit something, a corner, something metal here. So it's probably like blunt force. And the stab wound was after. Good information to know. Wish it was in the journal. We're on floor 5 though. So far, I see no anomalies. Okay, we already see an anomaly right there. Let's see if that is an anomaly. It's in the dark room, of course. Okay, it was definitely an anomaly, so we got rid of it. Nothing physical, no evidence there to capture. Aside from that, everything looks fine, so let's go ahead and mark that in the journal. Silence, nothing there. Okay. Did we get it wrong? Or do we go back to day 0? Oh, okay, nothing to say there. If we're going up, that means we did it right. So floor 6 then? I'm wondering if I got that right or wrong. There was no dialogue. There's usually dialogue that's in between it. Yeah, floor 6. We're making our way to floor 10. All right, we're gonna do a sweep and see if we could find anything. Maybe we might actually we might actually spot some physical evidence this time. Okay, honestly, I've seen nothing here. Nothing so far at all. Okay. Oh, wait.
Clear, Cole.
Oh, we went back to the beginning now.
Went silent.
Oh, we went straight to the beginning, so we got
In
something
that
wrong
rat
now.
hole you call an office.
All right, let me see if I can skip ahead. All right, so I just hopped back in here, and I've opened up the elevator, so I had to restart this twice now, which is kind of bummy. But like on the first floor, we're getting a brick wall. Now, I'm glad the game actually, like, it's not like the same thing, like as linear as it is with the delusions right off the bat, because we get one on floor 1, and I didn't get that the first time. So we had a brick wall right in front of us for the first illusion on the first floor. I have not seen that. So you definitely, it's not going to be the same on each floor for sure. So that's something very good to note. So I'm going to go ahead and do a sweep of this floor here. Okay, there was I think last one, like there was an ID card on the ground that I did not realize, and that was probably a delusion. Wow, something as simple as that got me. All right, I'm going to see what I can do. I'm going to do another sweep of this floor and see what I can find. Okay. This ID thing was not on the ground before, so we're going to take a photo of it.
This. I can use this.
Did not realize that the first time, so now we actually got that, and that's different because we had that on floor 6. Okay, now in the journal, we can say yes for the evidence. I'm glad we actually caught it this time. Okay, all right, so we actually do have something on our evidence board here. It's the ID on the floor. Let's see if we can actually click into this.
An ID card. Washed out. Face is a ghost. Name is a blur. Someone tried very hard to be forgotten.
Okay, it just repeats that. All right. Well, apparently we only have to find 3 pieces of evidence through 10 floors, so I'm going to see if I could do it on this run, but if I can't, then I'll probably end my run there. Okay, we actually have another piece of evidence here. There's a broken vase. I did not see this before.
This. I can use this.
That one's more obvious for sure. All right, I think that might be the only piece of evidence on this floor, but I'm going to check the rest. Okay, now we can go into our notebook and say, yes, there was evidence on this floor. So now we only have to catch 1 piece of evidence more, and then I think we're good.
Me.
Oh my god. Holy shit, who's this guy? Oh wait. Dang. I heard the elevator. Whoa, what? Thanks for playing the demo. Wishlist now on Steam. What? Oh, okay. That was really confusing. I did not expect that. Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk about this. All right. So that was the Anomaly Detective. Honestly, there's quite a few things about the game that I really enjoyed. Now, I really enjoyed the back and forth. I like the voice acting, actually, a little bit in that. I like the anomalies. I like the hallucinations and how they were different. I like how the gameplay kind of was like not like the same thing over and over again. But I do have a few critiques. Now, the one thing that I really critique is the when you get reset, that stings so hard. I mean, you get to hear the dialogue over and over and over and over if you keep making these mistakes, and you're just going to be mashing the space bar the entire time, just trying to skip it when there should be just a skip button. If there was a way to just end the phone call or end the radio chatter back and forth, that'd be so much easier, so you're not just continuously hitting that, because then it just becomes disengaging at that point. The next thing is I wish there was more stuff to add visually to the office, or like more stuff that you can add to your notebook Instead of the journal just being like, was there evidence? Yes, no. There could be like other stuff that was very important within the radio calls with Cole, between Cole and Silas. Then, because if you can add those very key details that make it more like a detective game, that would have been nice. So we need to see. I would like to see more elements like that. So the knife wound, like the skull fracture, different people. Like I said, I put some interesting thoughts in there, like knocking on the door and like actually interviewing them. Like if you were actually part of the interview process, that would make it a really great detective game. Being able to interact with these people in these rooms instead of just peeking in. Yeah, but I do like the delusions. I like the hallucinations. I feel like that wasn't really expanded upon, like the anomalies part of it. It was more like a who done it and who was the killer, and different different things from like the autopsy report and other things that you started to piece together. You start basically all your information is just drip fed to you by Cole, and that's literally all you're getting. You're not actually finding this information out, and that's kind of what I think this game is missing. As a detective, you're not really finding stuff besides like the photographs, like the ID and then the broken vase. That's the only thing that you're kind of contributing to the case, is these photographs of evidence here. And I feel like Cole's doing all the detective work on the other side, which I feel like you should be doing. But either way, this one has a really fun concept. I love the voice acting between Cole and Silas. It's probably one of my favorite things about the game. Another thing is I like the anomalies actually when they did show up. I like the hallucinations. I wish it was more like it delved more into the fact like maybe Silas is just like he's suffering from these hallucinations and he has to take medication for it or something. Like just being like that being mentioned and like described in his reaction to these hallucinations would be more justified, and it makes more sense. But yeah, otherwise I really enjoyed the Detective Anomaly game. I think it's a really good start to an indie game, but it just needs more of those elements there that make you feel like a detective, and more visually, more stuff visually around the office, an actual journal, different pieces of evidence for sure. But yeah, thanks for watching. This is Vigo, signing off.